there's no right and wrong way to grieve, but there's a healthy and an unhealthy way to grieve. Treating it like a light switch where we can feel like we can turn it on and off is an unhealthy way. But whenever we treat it like a dimmer switch of like, wow, I'm really feeling the grief a lot today. Like I'm feeling so scared that I'm never going to be a parent. I'm feeling so scared that this transfer is not going to work. I'm feeling so scared that I'm never going to meet this little baby. And what's happening when that fear takes over, our fight or flight response starts to go off. And so cortisol is going through our body and adrenaline's going through our body. And we're just not going to be able to function in the same way.
But I love what you're saying. Let's not call grief a disorder. Grief is not a disorder.
No.
Grief,
that's like saying if you love someone, you have a disorder.
Right. One of your something that you found from the study, because I have it up in front of me here, 84% of grieving Americans said they wish they could talk more openly about grief, loss, or tragedy.
Yeah, that's a lot of people. That's 84 people holding their hand up.
That means most. That means the overwhelming majority of people wish that they could talk about grief more openly. And
why can't they? Because nobody wants, I don't want to be sad today. It's not about sad.
Yeah.
It's just about witnessing other people's pain, because hopefully you won't ever have to go through anything horrible. But if you do, wouldn't it be nice if somebody's going to be there for you so you could be there for them?
I don't know a single person who gets through this life without going through something.
Exactly. And none of us are getting out of this thing alive. So we need to just be there for people and, witness their pain or what they're going through. If more people could just zip it and just open their ears and listen instead of talking so much, it would be a lot better place.
I like that idea. But so then I'm wondering, what do you think is happening in complex grief?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because grief is not fundamentally, it's not a cortical phenomenon. And so what the cortex is the bark of the brain, right? The cortex is the top. It's the most evolved portion of the brain. It's very thin, and it's mentative, right? So when you think, that's cortical mostly, right? But other animals grieve as well, right? And I know that you know stories. The one that stuck with me that I came across a while ago was of a whale that gave birth to a calf that didn't live, and she carried her dead calf in her mouth for a while, right?
Yeah, I remember that
and it was photographed. And so mammals grieve, mammals love, and mammals grieve. And, the most anterior portion of the old mammalian brain, anterior means front, right? So if you put your fingers right at your third eye and you push back, if you could push back into your brain, you would hit a region called the anterior cingulate cortex. And another region called the orbital frontal cortex. Number one, it's key to attachment, right? So we begin to attach right when we're born, but attachment is a huge process in life, and it's largely the orbital frontal cortex that's implicated in attachment. But then this region of the brain is also tethered to something called the insular cortices. So if you place your fingers on your temples, there's two little pockets of brain tissue called the insula that are right there. And those three spots all together form a network that's tied into psychological suffering and pain. And it's the suffering network. It's part of the pain network of the brain. And what's interesting is that it registers psychological pain with the similar intensity that one would physical pain. But what happens with the exercise of this network is that the worse it gets, the worse it gets. So the more one catastrophizes and ruminates and perseverates, a pattern can be worn and woven into the brain.